Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again. I am here actually to review another Goosebumps book just because I want to. I want to, and so that's why. Sometimes I don't really want to stick to any schedule that I'm doing, so I'm going to review a Goosebumps book. And this one is okay. It is The Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. First off, I love the cover. The cover is one of the best covers. I love how creepy the gnomes look. They are definitely the best description of the gnomes out of all the three things. The the show, how they look on the show, and then how they look in the actual book, and then the cover. They look the best on this cover, and I love the nighttime setting in the picture. It's such a cool cover, and of course, the cover is way better than the crappy book. So let's get into the book. I had to refresh myself of what exactly went on actually because I didn't really remember that much. This one was very forgettable. It was one of those ones where I was excited to. This is how all Goosebumps books go. By the way, this is basically how they all go. I'm excited to read it, and then I'm reading the first chapter, and I love it, and then everything just sinks in because the biggest issue with his Goosebumps books, is that they start off at one note and they never get past one note. Like they never get more exciting or less exciting. They just stay the exact same the entire book. And it's a problem because for certain books, it's like, okay, is there going to be a lot more stuff that happens later on? No, it's just going to be repetitive trash. It's just going to be very one note, one dimensional, boring, and just it's just going to play it safe. All the books play it safe for the most part, and that is a consistent issue, is that it just always feels like he's only at one note. And with Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes especially. The episode I actually like. I like the TV episode. I give it like a B minus or a C plus. It's very entertaining. It's like this competition over who has the best yard, and the kids keep supposedly causing trouble, and so they have to keep on working for this mean military instructor neighbor, and it's a fun plot, but it's still a little childish, and this book in particular is really childish. I mean, first off, the gnomes aren't scary at all. Like they are literally never scary in the entire book. Okay, there's one scene where they're scary, and that is the best part of the book actually, and it is probably the best part of the whole thing, but the rest of the book is just very boring. Another thing is that you have these main two characters, Joe and Mindy, I can't remember. That's how forgettable they are. They are boring, one dimensional characters. They're not an interesting brother and sister character pairing. They're very boring. And that is another consistent problem with these Goosebumps books, is that the characters will be very bland and flat. And then you have other books like Stay Out of the Basement, where those are actually good siblings. And then you have books like Curse of the Mummy. That's a fantastic character pairing. The guy and then his cousin. I can't remember. It's so much stuff to remember. But those are a lot better. So right off the bat, you have these two very forgettable characters. In fact, everyone in the whole book is forgettable. Everyone in the book is boring, bland. Nobody really sticks out. Even the neighbor, he doesn't really stick out as much as he does in the episode where he's turned into this really, really like mean guy. I like that more. Uh, and then, so you have this. Another thing is that this is sort of a Night of the Living Dummy story where there's characters or a character who causes trouble, and then the kids get blamed, their parents are mean to them, and then at the end of the book they get the villain, and that's it. It's the same formula every single time. This one in particular, like, the gnomes do like the just the littlest things that are just like, they're just so meaningless. Like, this is just such a meaningless array of trouble that they cause. Like, it's really nothing special. And it's too bad because it could have been, like, you could have made it meaningful. Like, you could have, I think they do that in the episode, actually, don't they say, uh, like the roses that they ruined, doesn't he say that, like, those were his wife's favorite kind of flower or something? Like, see, that's creating meaning. But in the book, it's just like, oh, they destroy some fruit and then they destroy some plants. And it's like, yeah, who cares? Like, even if I was a kid, I wouldn't care. Like, God, I'd be like, who cares? Like, not my problem. Maybe you're doing it yourself and you're just pretending, I mean, I don't know. Uh, so I just, there's nothing to connect to because you can't connect to these kids, that's for damn sure, because you don't care and you don't understand why they care so much, because you'd think that these kids, that they would feel some sort of a, it's like, even if you're a kid and you didn't do something, then you shouldn't feel responsible for what happened. Like, kids shouldn't feel responsible for a serial killer going around killing people. Okay? And so the fact that these kids even feel responsible in the book is just stupid and retarded. And the fact that they willingly help the neighbor uh, fix up his yard, it's just like the most ridiculous thing ever. And their dad and mom are so spineless that they can't even stand up for them. It's ridiculous. So later on in the book, the gnomes finally reveal themselves, and we actually have a pretty good. I actually loved this explanation. In later on in the book, the gnomes say that they are actually mischief elves, and they were kidnapped from their homeland and forced to work as lawn gnomes. And I thought, wow, that's actually a cool idea. Like, just thinking about that, like, what if mischief gnomes were, forced, enslaved, turned into lawn gnomes? That's actually a pretty cool twist. I like that, and I thought that, like, okay, that makes sense. It makes a lot more sense than Slappy the Living Dummy, and he wants to enslave little girls for no reason whatsoever. Like, it just, he doesn't really have any motivation at all. Uh, Whereas these gnomes, it's like, oh, they're mischief elves. Like, that makes sense. That's like a fairy tale type of character. So I thought that was cool. And then there's this part where it's actually pretty funny and dark and cool. The gnomes lead them back to the gnome shop, which I thought was cool, and they take them into the basement. And in the basement, you have like 600 gnomes, and they all come alive, and they're gonna like F these kids up. And it's like, oh, we don't actually need any help. We're just evil lawn gnomes. And I thought that that was sad because you still could have had them be evil without them undoing that twist, because I really like that scene. The kids accidentally let loose or they're about to let loose 600 evil mischief elves. Like, just thinking about that could have led to like such a cool horror movie, such a cool horror story. I thought that that was great. So uh, the climax all takes place in this lawn store, and guess how it's resolved? The dog comes and follows them, and he wants to get in there, and then the little brother calls him with the dog whistle, and then the dog whistle freezes the gnomes actually forever. And I just thought that that was stupid because, number one, how is that possible? Okay, these so now they completely reversed the twist that they're mischief elves. They're just gnomes. We still don't know what they are now. So they completely undid that. They ruined that. So how are gnomes able to hear dog whistling in their ears? And why is it that dog whistling, a dog whistle, why is that something that can freeze it? Okay? Very, very confusing. Very stupid. And another thing is they don't take the gnomes back home. Why not? Like if they're frozen forever, then why don't they just take them back home? It's so stupid. And like they didn't do that much damage at all. It's like just take them back home. Like you're acting like they killed people or something. But another thing is that like they're in the basement of the store. Well, when the people who run the store go down there, what are they going to think when they see the two gnomes that they already sold? You know, all the gnomes have names. And so they're going to know that these gnomes, you know, they're going to know who they are. It's much better resolved in the episode. And then they had this fun twist where the neighbor, he gets turned into a gnome too. I thought that was cool. I thought that that was good. See, the episodes actually did things better. They actually took the books and they said, okay, what works and what doesn't work. And in the episode, you know, even though they don't have that cool mischief elf twist, at least they stuck to one story. They didn't tease you with a better story and then go back on their promise. So I definitely think the episode is better. And I also think that the twist ending in the book is probably one of the worst twist endings. I mean, that's the thing, too, is that these twist endings are really not good. Like, in the book, the twist ending is they get a gorilla statue, and then the gorilla statue winks at them, and it's like, what the F? Like, you know, that's just childish, very childish, stupid, dumb. And so, do you know what I'm going to grade this book? I'm going to give it a D minus for dumb. I was bored reading this book. The only part I liked was that twist part, and then the part where they go in the lawn store. But I was very disappointed in this book, very disappointed. Now I do think that there could be a great book written based off of Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, the cover, because as well, if you think about it, the cover and the title suggests that they are getting revenge for something. And so it actually would have made a lot more sense that they're getting revenge for being enslaved as lawn gnomes. Well, that's completely undone for some reason. So I did not like this book, did not like it at all. After reading those Monster Blood books and reading the mediocre Scarecrow book, I was like, oh, now I have to read a bad one. That's the other thing with this series is that whenever you think you're on a good path with these books, it always gets bad. Like whenever you think, "Oh, this is really good. I can't wait to read the next one." And then you get to the next one and it's terrible. That's this book. I might actually read it again though if I was bored in the future. So I will say that. It's not totally a disaster, but it's bad. And it totally F's up its potential, and it's too childish. Okay, he needs to, even though he's writing these books for 12-year-olds. When I was 12, I was reading A Clockwork Orange and the Psycho trilogy books. And so I really think that some of these books are too childish. Like, some of them are pretty decently dark. Like, I'll say, like, Stay Out of the Basement's really dark. Uh, Girl Who Cried Monster's pretty dark. But then you have books like this where it feels like this is more of a light, like a 5-year-old kid book than like a 12-year-old's book. So I really did not like this one. And please like this video, comment, and please tell me what you thought of this book, because some people probably liked it. I really just hope that he makes another one and fixes it, because I was looking forward to this, and so it's another disappointment. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more Goosebumps book reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.